out in Nashville. So, you know, usually established cats, you know, they stay working, you know what I'm saying? So it's harder for cats who's not as known to, you know, get in, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. But shoot, man, how long you been doing this here, though? You know what I'm saying? You've been spinning on tables for about how long?
Professionally, I've been DJing since 1997. Prior to that, I probably was DJing I started about maybe 94.
And who was your first, like, professional gig with?
It was something we did. It was Black Coffee.
Yeah.
You know, something we started in 97, and so we started doing that party once monthly here in Nashville, bringing kind of like a culture, soul vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Mixed with some African culture, and brought that to Nashville. That started in 97, lasted to about 2001.
Okay. All right. Yeah, your show is named, the radio show still carries that name.
That's
Black.
a spin-off of the event.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, how did you even get into spinning, though? Like, what made you back in 94 be like, you know what, I want to start spinning?
It started out, I had always been around DJs, so, you know, like in high school, one of my good friends, he was a DJ, so I used to hang with him all the time. I went to college, and when I went to college, I met two guys that was DJ. We ended up becoming friends, and then the guy, the same dorm as me, was a DJ, so I kind of was around it the whole life, and it always held my interest.
Right.
And I transferred from Miller to TSU, and one of the first dudes I met, he was a DJ, you know.
Alright.
So man, it's like, you know, there must be something to this, and so, you know, I was finally able to garner some capital and get my own set and, you know, collect records and things like that. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay, you first started collecting. What was some of the first, you know, like genres you went after? Hip hop, soul, jazz, a little bit of everything.
It was mostly soul. You know, during the prime time when, you know, hip hop, 12 inches and albums were out on wax, I wasn't collecting records.
Yeah.
I wasn't DJing, like in high school or whatever. So I started collecting like soul records and people I knew, like Earth, Wind & Fire, Commodores, you know, that led me to like start digging deeper, you know, doing research and reading.
So these DJs, I guess you coming from like your past, you having a lot of ties with DJs that got you kind of inspired to start spinning. This is you was always around wax. Like, did some of them show you some specific things, or you more or less learn by just watching, or a little, you know, a little bit of both, or you know?
I learned about watching because most DJ cats I hung around with, they was like, you know, they like to be watched, but they don't like to teach. You know
right. Right.
You know, I guess a certain status comes with being a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is a DJ, at least back then.
Right.
So I just learned about watching them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I might ask a question here and there, but most times it's just, you know, just watching and soaking it in.
Okay.
And putting it out when it's time to do something myself.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, old school DJs, you know, I know you know your history on them pretty thorough. Like, who is some now that you've, like hindsight 2020 kind of, who are some of the ones that you know you think, had you been in that era, would have been more, you know, inspirational to you than any of the other old school pioneers?
You know, Grandmaster Flash, Jazzy J.
Yeah.
Kid Capri was my little idol, you know.
Yeah.
When I was young, because like his mixtapes were always phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Kid Capri was that cool for me. Doo-Wop.
Yeah.
Early Ron G.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't really get that here in Nashville.
Nah.
Like Atlanta to get it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those are the cats that, you know, I really looked up to. Jazzy Jeff.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Kid Capri for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the dudes that I looked up to.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now on the house circuit, break down some of them DJs that you know you done kind of vibed off of.
Ron Hardy.
Yeah.
Ron Trent. J.M. Silk.
Yeah.
You know, I had friends from Chicago who put me on it like those cats, so I listened to their cats.
Yeah.
And like newer school cats like Jihad Muhammad, you know, they hold it down. OG.
What's that cat out of Japan you be fucking with a lot?
DJ Kawasaki.
Yeah.
You know, he produces. Well, he's a DJ too, but you know, mainly he produces. produces house music too, so
Yeah.
his stuff is always pretty thorough.
Alright. And them Bugs in the Attic cats, man. You know, I know them your peoples. You kind of put me up on that 4 Hero mix. Where it was like, you know, they went back and touched on stuff that inspired them. That shit was hot.
Yeah.
Like, break down, you know what I'm saying? Like, how, you know, you was telling me, you know, you was building with me on, like, Jody Watley, Terry Collier. All them old artists that now kind of fucking with them, you know, and the stuff they making, like.
Yeah, Jody Watley, you know, she's into that whole new jazz house scene now, you know what I'm saying? Like, all her stuff is like house, you know, and it's pretty good because she's messing with masters at work.
Yeah.
Like some of the top cats, GB, you know, some other guys too. So, you know, if you check out her school and stuff, you know, if you're into that club, that house,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's Terry Collier, you know what I'm saying, him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Dwight Tribble.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of old school singing cats is linking up with these new up and coming music styles. Leon Ware.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, he got a remix album or something out recently, right? Or
he did a new Jazz and Nova album.
and then you had another album you got in the mail not too long ago. It was a house track. Played a couple weeks ago.
George Duke.
Yeah, I think Who did that? Like, is that out of UK too?
Nah, you know, the one I got is called the Shelter Mix. You know what I'm saying? Maybe bootleg, maybe not.
That's what's up.
Sure.
That's what's
Like
up.
the underground classic joint is off of old George Duke song from the 90s with Michelle Farrell.
Yeah.
No Rhyme, No Reason.
Okay.
The underground house mix will be made out of that song, so that's what that was.
That's what's up. Well, shoot, as far as like when you you spinning for the crowd, how you like to transition them? You know, how you like to kind of, hype them up or keep them dancing? You know, what kind of music you find kind of is universal that can keep people kind of dancing or keep them kind of lounging? You know what I'm saying? If you need that.
You know, it depends on the venue, but you know, mostly old school hip hop can get people going.
Yeah.
So, going down a few classics, you know.
Yeah.
The Show, you know, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Rob Bass, It Takes Two, you know.
Yeah.
That usually gets people going, even people who's not a fan of hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, shit. As far as like, what would you say is one of your, like, I know y'all used to do the Love Noise and for the open mic, transitioning people on and off. Sometimes you would spin for it, you know. What to keep the people kind of like bring them back to attention to Bill or Joey at the time if he was hosting or whoever was hosting, LaSalle, you know, like what would you kind of play, you know, some of the stuff you would play to kind of get them, you know, the next act on in between things and shit like that.
Well, actually, I use the opening segment of Love Noise when I play as like an experimental round, you know what I'm saying? So I play a lot of stuff people haven't heard before, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that time is to expose them, you know, because, you know, it's people coming in, sitting down, chilling, waiting on the show to start, you know, so I use that time to start, you know, bringing out new music and genres people are not necessarily familiar with, along with, you know, the classic material.
Word. Well, shoot, what are some of the things, you know, that you like hold, you know, most important to you, most pertinent to you when you out there spinning? Like, you know, some cats is real, you know, kind of OCD about, you know, making sure that they wax is clean or that they, you know, that the crowd is constantly dancing or, you know, just like what's the important thing, you know, for you?
The most important thing for me is like to keep it deep and keep it soulful.
Yeah.
And just keep it moving along at a nice pace.
Yeah.
You know, I take a few risks sometimes with some music, you know what I'm saying, but you know, that's what you gotta do sometimes.
Exactly.
People, you know, kind of open their eyes to other things that they're not necessarily used to. So, I like to keep it deep, positive, you know what I'm saying, you know, no negativity. You know, too much, you know, especially with that new soul. You know, soul is the deepest part of your personality, you know what I'm saying? I try to touch that. So.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, no doubt. I'm sure you've been touching souls here for, you know, a minute. As far as like, you know, your radio show and the Black Coffee y'all had kicking off before that. Now the joint down in Hebrews and Love Noise, you know what I'm saying? So, Man, that's basically about it, man. We didn't cover about everything, you know, maybe not necessarily in the order, but we did it. So, you know, any last comments or last words you want to say before we sign out?
Man, you know, appreciate the opportunity. Hope this interview, you know, this broadcast, get some people interested in learning other things about music and DJ culture. And, watch out for me in the '09, you know, got big things coming. Watch out for new CDs and events here in Hebrews and other places. So.
All right, y'all.